I want to say one other thing too on what you said about when we're calling these people and some get mad and some don't, but the people that we help are appreciative. It's been my experience that everybody that I've helped has answered the phone and been nice, and they've been receptive. If somebody's rude to me on the phone or they take me as an ambulance chaser, like whatever, I don't care. Like I've been yelled at on the phone many times. That doesn't even bother me. But the people that I've helped, it's not some like strategic phone call and I've got to, try to get them to be elite. Like they're very receptive. They want the help. And yeah, they might interview agents, but so what? And a lot of them don't though. So
you can either survive kind of in the jungle or you can live in the zoo. And living in the zoo it's like, well, how do you take an animal that's fierce and wild and aggressive and free and convince it to live in the zoo? The way that you do that is you feed it. It's normal and natural that we go to someone or a team or something of that nature to feed us, right? With leads and opportunities. At the same time, when you physically went out into the jungle, let's say, started knocking on doors, you had a very clear awareness. You were like, wait a minute. There are all these people that want to buy and sell that are just here. My job is just to go and find them and go communicate with them.
Yeah. Door knocking the whole hillside of my city. I had frozen water bottles in the car. I was wearing clothes that would, when I sweat, they would dry fast, and wearing out shoes. And the problem was I didn't know what to do with those leads at the time because I'd never taken a listing. I didn't know what a CRM was. And that's when I started discovering the next stage of what I was doing.
You had this awareness. Okay. I want to survive in the jungle. I don't want to live in the zoo. You started to go out into the jungle. You started to find all of these leads, but you had this issue, right? Because all businesses, I don't care what you're selling, follow the same process. There is attraction, then there's conversion, and then there's delivery. So you were starting to dial in the attraction piece. You're like, okay, I'm finding all these people, but the conversion piece, how do I convert them into contracts signed and therefore income? How do I pre-qualify these leads to ensure that I'm only going on appointments where people have the means and the motivation to actually sign a contract, right? Like, how do I structure a listing presentation in a way that dramatically increases the probability that they will sign a contract? How do I handle these objections that keep coming up? I'm imagining what you did, which is the same thing that, I did when I came to the same conclusion, is you started to seek out guides, people who can actually show you very clearly and specifically how to convert.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube like a madman, like watching videos every morning while I'm cooking breakfast. What do I do? What do I do? And then it started coming together. And then I understood the concept of coaching, which I never really understood before. What made the biggest difference in my business is somebody who taught me a system to be able to, what to do with these people, how to present to them and do what you just talked about. So
you want to find a guide, whoever that is, who has a demonstrated track record of producing the outcome that you wish to produce consistently over an extended period of time. Because what that means is underneath is a system. And if there's a system, it means that they can teach it to you. And you shared with me, I was like, yeah, like, you've been involved in, our ecosystem with the role play groups and the online courses and the group coaching calls and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, for about a year, you're like, nah, dude, like I've known you for a while, a long time via YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I first found you on YouTube when you weren't even putting anything out for people to watch. Like you were like a guest at a conference and it was recorded or something like that. And you did some role play. Man, I used to listen to that over and over. It was years ago when I learned your, we need to think about it. I had that written out, typed out, you know what I mean? And so I found that on YouTube. I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, anyways, that's how I find.
As time progressed, so as you started to acquire that skill of conversion, what started to happen in your business?
Well, of course, it started to increase. I would go on appointments. I would be the one that was always well prepared, the professional, get compliments on the presentation all the time. And that was great. And so started doing more business, almost all listings. Now my business is really 100% listings, but I had a system that I was using for that. And then, things changed in the market and some of that business went away through things I couldn't control. I had to figure out what I was going to do next because my business was just standing on one leg and it always made me nervous that was going on. Right. But I didn't want to go work with buyers intentionally. And, there was not a bunch of expireds to call and things like that in my market. There rarely is.
You recognized a pattern starting to develop that, hey, marketplace is shifting and changing, and perhaps this one source, this one kind of leg of the table is, it's okay. The problem with it is that if I only have one source of business, I don't really have a business. Then you kind of bumped into, this kind of lead source of probate, like probate and estate sales. And then you started to reach out to them, but you were noticing You had the same kind of conversion issue, right? So you're like reaching out to them and talking to them, but you just weren't converting them in high levels.
Yeah, or even at all. There was no high level. It was in the end of 2023 when I started calling them, and I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, like I had an idea, right? Because I've been cold calling a lot, and I had other friends that called, but I didn't know exactly how to handle the people, and it was actually very frustrating to me. And so it took me a while. I probably had a longer runway of getting probate listings because of that than maybe somebody who would have the correct information to get started on the right foot with those.
Yeah. And you were kind of just trying to figure it out. And then you actually participated in the probate course that we offer. How did that equip you? How did that kind of guide you? You were just calling them, not really understanding the process, not really understanding added value, not really understanding what to say and how to say it. So how did it really equip you? And then what was the outcome as a result? Because I know you've gotten like fantastic outcomes over the last 12 months in probate.
There's information that you can find out there that you can even be a part of for free. I'm sure that anybody that's looked into probate has found these, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when I cold call people, hi, this is Rob. Are you thinking of selling your house? In so many words, but no, not too many words, right? Mm-hmm. And so what you can find out there that says like, hey, I'm just calling because we offer services to people, and if you need an estate sale, let me know. And by the way, are you selling the real estate? I was like, it drove me nuts hearing that. I'm like, why can't we just call and say, hey, this is Rob. Are you thinking of selling the real estate and the probate? So I was fumbling around because I'm fighting inside of, I don't want to do it like that. I like to be direct, but I didn't know how to be direct in a way that was, I have common sense, right? So I know how to talk to people, but I didn't know how to be direct in the probate situation. And so
like in a professional, palatable way.
Yeah. I didn't know how to run that conversation. So when I got to your course, the first thing it did was showed me how to talk to these people. The second thing is it was a navigation or it showed how the conversation should go or how I should lead the conversation, right? Yeah.
It gave you like a blueprint how to navigate the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because what would happen is it's easy to get through the first question pretty much no matter what you are saying, right? But after that, especially when they hit you with, we're not sure yet, what are you going to do? Like, yes, easy. No, easy. We're not sure, which is fairly common. I was having a hard time with that. So that was the main thing that really helped me. And then in addition to that, it gave me ideas on follow-up that I wasn't doing. But more importantly, though, it was about asking for an appointment right away and not saying, okay, great. When should I check back with you?
Yeah.
And then I never hear from them again. Now, I don't get an appointment every time, right? But I do try every time, though. At least I'm trying.
What started to happen with your conversion? And, since kind of really doing a deep dive, what's been the result, right? Like because the proof is in the progress, right? So what's been the result? Like how many listings have you taken? What does that mean to you in income?
It has filled in a huge gap, and it makes up 50% of my business for sure. The number of listings I've taken so far, it might be... and remember, I started 2024 is when I started doing it right, really. So sure. Probably 13 or 14, I think.
That's fantastic, man. So at least like one a month, I'm
averaging about one a month. And here's the other thing too, that's cool is that now, so because my main business was focused on cold calling, I've been following it with some people so long that they have died. Right. And I'll call it's weird. I'll call and the brother, the sister answers the phone and I say, hey, is Tom there? Who's this? And I'm like, oh, this is Rob. We were talking about selling his house. Oh, he passed. Oh, really? And are you guys, in so many words, are you guys going through probate? Yeah, we are. Oh, well, then I can shift the conversation. I have 2 listings that were people who their parents have passed or a brother. And when I went to the listing appointment and they interviewed other agents, when I went and told them that, hey, 50% of my business is probate, this is how I can help you in these other ways too. That's what helped me get the listing. So not only is it directly as I'm calling these probate leads, but it's also helping me as I'm calling or as I'm following up with people. I know it's sad, but hey, that's the way life goes. And so I'm able to help them though.
Yeah, that's right. Death and taxes, man. It's just part of the experience. And now that you're equipped with that specialized knowledge, you understand that roadmap and you understand that process, you can very quickly pivot, begin to have conversations with them that are very specific to the probate process. You demonstrate to them that you are a guide, that you understand the language, that you understand the process, and that's causing you to actually list more properties as a result, even ones that aren't specifically ones that you're targeting in terms of, they're already started the probate process. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrific.
And it's weird. I like in an area that really I don't get listings just from cold calling. I've gotten $3 million listings. And these are just normal neighborhoods in my area though, where they're the result of probate, where normally I wouldn't even have listings. So it's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. And then what I'm also aware of too is because I think you understand a little bit of the creative side, that they've also presented opportunities where you can suggest to them multiple different options and choices. So like, okay, we can either list the property. That's cool. We can totally do that. Here's what you could expect to receive. Sometimes families, they may not be interested in putting it on the open market or going through the process of clearing out or kind of preparing the property with handyman work, things of that nature. And those families, they actually very much so value expediency and a lack of effort. They don't want to have to do anything. And in those instances, we can offer you another creative solution, maybe a cash offer or a novation or like, another type of exit sub 2, things of that nature. So can you talk a little bit about how focusing on this lead source has actually allowed you to learn that other side and therefore be able to add more value by providing more options and choices to consumers?
Yeah, I just did one in the beginning of the year. The lady, it blew me away, but the lady had a house that was turnkey, move-in ready. She put a brand new roof on it. Her and her sister just did not want to put it on the market. It was literally like, Rob, we are not putting this on the market. Like, okay. And so I'm like, hey, no problem. Let's get you a cash offer. So I called my guy. We got her a cash offer. We sold it off market. I collected a fee anyways. And that's what they wanted. Right. And so, I still have some learning to do in that field, but yeah, I'm able to help people in that way too.
Yeah, which I'm aware also spills into retail, because you might meet with just a normal everyday seller in the pre-qual that doesn't fit within the category of probate. And they say, hey, Rob, we love you, brother. I don't care what you say. I'm not going to list it, dude. I don't want anybody walking in my house. I just want a cash offer. And I think a lot of agents, they just very myopically, they view their role as an agent in a very singular way, which is all I can do is help you list the property, which that's a option. The challenge is that I think whoever adds more value wins. So by understanding other options and presenting other options and being unattached to the outcome, that actually allows you to add more value to consumers. And then again, you'll win more often, right? So this source is not only providing you with a source of business that has now become 50% of your business, it's allowing you to take $1 million listings that you would normally not take as listings. It's allowing you to have professional conversations with lead follow-up that happen to find themselves in probate. It's presenting you with also new opportunities where you can offer opportunities to, homeowners, whether they be in probate or not. So, I mean, it really seems like this source of business and your willingness to kind of invest in yourself, get involved in the community, and really do a deep dive on it has not only served you like tremendously, but it also is serving the community in a major way.
No, I would agree. I have people write me reviews all the time, thanking me for all the stuff that I've done. People from out of state. That's the other thing about probate is you'll become a much sharper agent. It's not always just slamming deals like, left and right. You got to figure stuff out. And when you get this stuff figured out, now you have more knowledge, and then it helps you with just in general in real estate. Like it's definitely opened my eyes to a lot more things in real estate that I think has helped me as I help just regular sellers as well.
Yeah. And I think that flies in the face of what a lot of people perceive. Agents' initial perception is like, oh, I don't want to bother these people, or I'm being rude, or it's not agreeable to reach out to somebody, during a time like this, when in fact, my experience is just like yours. That sure, will you find some people who find it unagreeable? Yeah. Maybe one or two from time to time. What I am aware of though, is that the vast majority of folks, particularly the ones that you end up helping, are enormously appreciative because they find themselves in a difficult time, from an emotional perspective, and from a practical perspective, it's very overwhelming, right? You have a complete house full of contents. There's this legal procedure you're trying to go through. Typically, there's other individuals involved, siblings, other family members, which adds to the emotional stress. So if they can find someone who can step in, add value, guide them through the legal aspect, understand kind of the what needs to happen in order for title to transfer, connect them with ancillary services, they are immensely appreciative. And that's what you're seeing in the responses that you get from folks, right?
Yeah. And also, if you take the time to learn about the probate process, and then you're just going to learn it naturally by working with these people on things that they tell you that the attorney wants and tells them and things like that. But once you start understanding that stuff, you can start asking them questions that lets them know that you know what you're doing. Hey, did you get your EIN number? Things like that. Oh, what's that? Oh, the attorney didn't tell me about that. I've helped so many people whose attorneys, and I know we're talking like 13, 14 listings, but probably the majority of those people, the attorneys are not helping them with, first you need to do this, then you need to do that. And here I am, the agent, telling them this is what you need to do. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're adding value. And it makes sense because their business model, the attorneys, is not really set up to give them guidance specifically on the real property. It's more so they've been hired for a very, very specific task, which is the legal aspect of probate. And their model is to get as many clients as they can. They're kind of like a contractor. And then, kind of sprinkle in talking to all of those people every once in a while. So if you, as an agent, very much so understand that legal aspect. We're not attorneys. We want to make that clear. At the same time, we understand it inside and out. We can provide professional guidance that ends up saving them being the clients, a lot of time, energy, effort, and resources. So you actually stop calling expireds after coming to the Do More Deals Summit and learning some new lead sources and some new strategies, and you're actually doing more business, taking more listings and making more money.
Yep, 100%.